boy, this video is about to be a deep one, right? We're about to dive so deep into that video that you're not even ready for what you're about to enroll in this one, right? But the general rule, the one key, crucial, magnificent tip of advice that you need to understand is us humans love to get things now. We want to get something right now, right? We're very impatient. The majority of us are actually really impatient people, right? And when we set a goal for ourselves, when we want to do something, when we want to speak to somebody, perhaps talk to this girl, perhaps build this amount of muscle, perhaps make money, we want to get those things as fast as possible. And whilst this might not necessarily be an issue, this can definitely be an issue later down the line. Because when we want something right now, we will go really, really far to actually achieve that thing. And this is where things get tricky. Because oftentimes, you don't need to try to force things for them to happen. But because we are so blinded by the goal that's in front of us, we start to go way too hard on actually trying to achieve that thing, which by doing so, we actually get further and further away from getting to achieve it. This is where things get tricky. This is where things start to get a little bit confusing, right? But I believe I have a story which can definitely relate to this situation, because a couple of months ago, and the guys who've been watching my channel for a little bit longer, you might remember this period of time, but in the summer of 2024, I set this challenge for myself that if I don't get it, I thought the entire world was going to crumble, right? And to keep it simple, I wanted to land a backflip by the end of summer. This was something that I used to shiver when I thought about it, right? This is something that wouldn't let me sleep at night because I was so obsessed about achieving it. I sacrificed everything, to be fair. In that summer, I pretty much gave up the entirety of weightlifting. I was barely going to my boxing practice. Even if I would meet up with my friends, what we would do most of the time is we would either be on the basketball court or they would be with me trying to learn the backflip, right? Trying to help me out. And this is something that I used to be really dedicated to. But here's the thing. This was the only thing I used to do every single day. Wake up in the morning, just backflip, backflip, backflip. It was almost boring at one point, right? When it arrived, when the end of summer arrived, once it was the last week before school started and it was still nice weather, you know how it is. I used to be so I used to be so pissed because I wasn't even close to landing it, right? The one habit that I used to have is I would put my arm down when landing. I understood the entirety of the movement. I could do it almost perfectly, but it's just that when I tried to do it on the ground, I couldn't stop using my arm when landing. And this was a very big problem because of the amount of times that I trained throughout the day, I was actually building bad habits. So that every time I tried to do let's say a backflip into a foam pit, into a pool, even if I would still put my arm down, even though I didn't have to worry about landing, I would still do it. And because of the amount of forced reps that I was doing, I developed really, really poor technique that I couldn't stop. I couldn't get out of my mind, right? And this became really annoying because I didn't land the challenge. Because I tried to rush things so much instead of taking my time with it, instead of doing things at my own pace. That's when everything started to crumble, right? And the entirety of success, if you want to put it into any realm, the general rule is that the more you try to force things, the less you're actually likely to get it. And y'all know what it is. I love my whiteboard. Wait, I'm going to draw you a graph. I'm a math major, so we draw graphs all the time, right? So think of it this way. This whole range over there, that's what you define as success. This is where you want to get to. But the issue is that when you start here, right, you think you are getting closer to it, but in reality, this is what the graph looks like. You are making an insane amount of progress. But because you're not letting life unroll the way it should, because you're trying to mess with the plot that life has planned for you, this is what it looks like. You are not meant to be at this level yet. That's why what's going to happen is you're going to feel like you're getting closer and closer and closer. You'll be just a little bit away from achieving that goal. But you still won't get it because you're trying to force things the way they shouldn't be. The more you listen to life, the more life starts to listen to you. See the title of the video? You clicked on it for a reason, right? You need to learn to actually sit back and just watch life unroll the way it's supposed to, right? As long as you're focused on the systems that will get you to the goal itself will happen. This is the thing. When you're focused purely on the goal, that's when you don't get it. This is why you have all of these 40-year-old mothers at New Year's Eve, like getting all pumped up and excited because, oh yeah, I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to lift 5 times a week, 2-hour workouts. Hell yeah. All it takes is 2 weeks. By the time those 2 weeks fly by, they're done. Over. They finished. They don't want to lift no more. They all of this motivation they had, they drained it. They milked it. No more. Now when they gotta use their discipline, it is not happening. So this graph, I really like this analogy, right? Because look how close you're actually getting. It's not like you're not making progress, but you're not getting to the goal. And getting back to the backflip story, it's funny because I stopped training with the backflip around the time when the school year started. So the beginning of September. That's when I said, fuck it, I give up, I'm done, whatever. I focused on lifting weights, I bulked up a solid 6 to 7 kilograms. I'm not done yet, but we're doing pretty good. And recently, as I was about to go to the gym with my friend, turns out that they didn't let my friend in, right? He had like some weird subscription that didn't work in the town that we lived in. That's irrelevant, right? The issue is that because we didn't go to the workout, we needed to find something different. And that's when we realized that just 100 meters away, like literally a few buildings next, there was trampoline park. And y'all already know what we were up to, right? That's when I literally reminded myself that I wanted to land the backflip. So when I went there, trust me, it only took me like 2 attempts to land my first crappy backflip. Did it look good? No. But I landed it, like it still counts. I didn't use my hand anymore, right? All it took is time. All I had to do is to sort of stretch that graph and let life unroll the way it wants to unroll. I don't know why I'm stuttering so much in this video. But this way, this approach applies to the entirety of life in all realms. With girls, it's the same thing. I know I'm a social skills channel. I've been barely talking about like social stuff, but this works in every realm. That's why I want you to be so aware of this. When you speak to girls, for example, like if you text a girl, let's say 20 times every single day, and if you don't have anything valuable to say, if you're not bringing anything to the table, you're just gonna start blasting her memes. What's gonna happen? You're gonna come across as needy. You're gonna come across as desperate. She's gonna find you annoying. Therefore, even though you feel like you're so close, right? You're texting her every day. You're right about to make the big move. She says no. Even though you felt like everything was going right, It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Now, the one advice that I never really liked was the focus on the journey, not the destination. Like, it always sounded wrong to me. But I found a better way to word it, right? Because when you focus on the systems that get you to the goal, you are much more likely to achieve it than if you were just blinded by the goal. I think I already mentioned it before, but this is very, 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 very crucial. Instead of blindly saying that, oh yeah, I'm gonna lose 10 kilograms by the end of this month, if you said to yourself that you'll focus on training 3 times a week for the next few months, this time, if you were to actually lose the 10 kilograms, you would sustain it. Instead, if you starve yourself for an entire month, you lose the 10 kilograms somehow. You're gonna be like, yay, look at me, oh, I'm slim now. You'll get it back in another 2 weeks. Because you don't know how to sustain it. This is what matters, right? You shouldn't think of this as a graph. Again, I'm a math major, and whilst I'm shit in math, I really like to explain stuff with graphs and analogies. This is just my thing, right? What you do by trying to focus on the goal, right, is you get way up here, you have this small little spike, and then you go back to normal. It's like, what's the continuation of this graph? It keeps going up and up, but there's that point in which you get annoyed, you give up, you realize that you're not getting that goal, even though you're this close, right? This is when this graph dips and you're back to square one. What you should focus on instead is the process of achieving that goal. The goal should be like this guiding star. It should lead you as to where you want to get to, but it's not the process. The process is the things that you need to do to actually get to the goal. Don't get blinded by your own goals. Is there another synonym for the word goal? I don't want to keep spamming it. Yeah, you get the general idea, right? When you start to listen more, life starts to listen to you. And I'm gonna give one more example for conversations, because I'm a conversation channel, right? So this is also very relevant. When you stop talking about yourself, well, let's say you want to make friends with somebody, right? When you want to make friends with that person, are you just gonna keep yapping about what you want to yap about, or are you actually willing to listen to what they have to say? Because when that person is able to yap at you and express everything that they have on their mind, they start to feel comfortable and they get addicted to your presence because they feel restrictionless around you. This is how you attach people into your life. This is how you become the magnet towards other people. This is as simple as it can get. It might be a little bit confusing to use this analogy at first, right? Because I remember it. I remember around right after I stopped training the backflip. This is when I realized this. This is when I found some guy on YouTube. I don't remember whose video it was, right? But somebody, I really wish I knew who I learned this from, right? It was probably like Shaman Davis or like Jack Piggott, Hamza, whatever, right? As soon as I learned this, I knew that it was kind of working, but I couldn't get myself to implement it, right? It took me a lot of practice and switch of mindset for me to actually get this to work. But once I did, you would be surprised at how easy it is to make progress in some things. It's simple as that. When you start to listen more, life starts to listen to you. And all the goals you have set for yourself, you are way more likely to get it. So, not gonna waste your time. I just clap my hands, so the audio is probably gonna get fucked up, but it doesn't matter. If you want to talk to me directly, whilst hanging around a community that actually understands your struggles and can relate to you, whilst trying to become better together, join the Discord server. This is the perfect place for that. And I'm not gonna waste your time. I know. This is my cat. My cat's doing mighty fine. As y'all always know, comment the word cat. I'm sick of y'all motherfuckers asking me, where's the cat? Every time I don't put it in my video. But you still don't comment the word cat. So the fuck are you doing? Yeah, alright. You can click all the videos if you want to. You can subscribe as well. That would really mean a lot, okay? Please. But you do you. So keep working, brother. And take care.